Thanks, Paulie. I'll never forget that loss in '89. It still keeps me up to today. But good afternoon, everyone. I want to like to thank you all for being here today to celebrate this day. It's truly an honor to be officially inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'd also like to congratulate my fellow inductees as well. We're taking a timeless place in the history of tennis, which is really special. I must say I've always loved the history of the game as much as the game itself. I don't know how or why I picked up a tennis racket at 7, but I did, and it felt natural. My dad, I'd rather be playing tennis right now, so. But my dad, he recognized my talent, and he got me into lessons. And that's where my love affair with the sport began. I remember as a kid hitting balls in our basement. I used to hit at the local park, and as I got older, I saw old tapes of Rod Laver and Ken Rosewall. Now, at the time, I was just fascinated by these guys and how they play their attacking games. But it wouldn't be until later that I would truly appreciate what it takes to be a great champion. Things like the importance of humility and class, sportsmanship and dignity. And fortunately, thanks. Fortunately for me, all these things tapped into my core values and how I was raised. Therefore, I embraced the tradition of the game from the start. In fact, there were times I would think I'm kind of a 50s player living in the 90s. And as a result, I felt a bit misunderstood by some. But by many, I felt embraced and loved. So to my fans, I want to thank you. Your support and mutual respect we have for this great game has always meant a lot to me. I come from a very strong and close family. My parents, Sam and Georgia, and my 3 siblings, Gus, Stella, and Marion. My family had no tradition in tennis. Yet from the get-go, my dad gave me every opportunity to play. He did everything in his power to enable me to really play this game of mine. I remember as a kid, my dad taking Stella out to junior tournaments. And as I got older, my mom used to come on the court and hit me balls so I could hit them. And she didn't know what she was doing, but she was great. So they're both involved in my junior game, but they never meddled when it came time for coaches or strategy or strokes. They were more concerned about me playing well and winning, than winning. For example, when I was 14, I had a 2-handed backhand. I switched to a 1-handed backhand. And they encouraged this process. Most people thought I was actually crazy for doing it, and I had moments where I thought maybe it was the wrong thing to do. But it was this big picture thinking like this that would go on to really define my career. So my dad, he was a provider, my mom the nurturer. Having said that, there's a toughness on my mom's score that few have seen. I believe that's where I got my determination and my competitiveness and my drive from my mom. Those are virtues I inherited from somewhere deep under my mom's softness. As for my siblings, throughout my entire life, I've always felt their support, and never once did I feel any jealousy or animosity from any of them, which to me says a lot about our family. They kept my life balanced. They kept my life real. And now that we all share a newfound role as parents, we continue to grow and grow closer and closer. And I admire them with a lot of respect. So to Gus, Stella, and Marion, and to my parents, thank you for supporting me. And it's harder than I thought. The support of me, for giving me advice and for reminding me to always have faith. I love you guys. And this moment is a celebration of all of you as much as it is for me. won my first U.S. Open at 19, and the truth is I wasn't ready for all that came with it. For the better part of 2 years, it went by, in kind of a fog. And the man who helped me through this time was my coach, Tim Gullickson. Tim was tough. He had a no-nonsense, blue-collar approach to the game, and our personalities couldn't have been more different. I was inward. He was the life of the party. But it was Tim who instilled in me a work ethic that I never had. My talent had gotten me to a certain level, but it was Tim who pushed me to practice hard and to practice with a purpose. He was also the one who got me over the hump at a tournament where I did pretty well, Wimbledon. Truth is, for the first few years in London, I hated grass court tennis. But it was Tim who changed my attitude. He made a few changes technically. And I can honestly say it was Tim who, through his mentality and his work ethic, that got me to be the best player in the world. Our highly productive and wonderful relationship was cut tragically short when Tim was diagnosed with cancer, and in early '95 he was no longer able to travel with me. In one of his last appearances, he attended a Davis Cup tie in Las Vegas. Okay, here we go. And after our victory, the team was packed with the usual people, and there was a lot going on, but at one point I glanced over at Tim, and our eyes briefly met, and we had a moment like there's no one else in the room. We were both thinking we ought to be here alone together, to savor this. And in a way, I guess we were. That expression in Tim's eyes remains with me to this day. I was with him, and he with me, to the end. I miss him to this day, and I know it's a loss I share with the entire tennis world. During the time when Tim was no longer able to travel with me, Paul Anico quietly became the key silent partner in our team. And after Tim passed, Paul became my coach. Even though he beat me in '89, I still hired him. It was clear to me that Paul knew what I was all about. In fact, Paul would get to know me better than anyone else as a tennis player. We had a very one that I think is very rare to find. Paul, he knew how to really keep things simple and how to downplay things rather than ramp up an occasion. We really clicked that way. Yet he still quietly pushed me to play a certain way, pushed me to attack and to chip and charge and impose my will on my opponents. And Paul wasn't a big rah-rah guy. He didn't say a whole lot, but the things he said I took to heart. I won a lot of majors with Paul. I won a lot of tournaments with Paul. But Paul, he never got the credit he deserved. He wasn't looking for the limelight. He wasn't looking for the attention or the credit. But deep down in me, I know what he meant for my career. So thanks, Paul. In the late summer of '99, I had pulled out of the U.S. Open with a back injury. It was the best injury of my life because that's where I met my wife, Bridget. We've been married almost 7 years. We have 2 great kids, Ryan and Christian. When I met Bridget was involved in a very successful acting career, but she put everything aside to travel with me and support me. In the final 2 hardest years of my career, she became my rock and my sounding board. I was struggling with issues that I've never faced before. But through it all, Bridget kept me together with her empathy and compassion, her selflessness and light. She had to live with me at a time when it couldn't have been fun. Yet her unwavering loyalty and faith in me kept me strong at a time when I was losing faith in myself. In fact, I remember a conversation we had one night. I just lost in the second round of Wimbledon. It was the lowest point of my career, and I was thinking about retiring, and maybe it was time for me to move on. But she said these words that I'll never forget. And she said, "I will support you in whatever you decide to do. But promise me one thing, that when you do go out, it will be on your terms." Those words resonated deep within me. They stayed with me. They became this new fuel that I needed to hear to win my record 14th major in 2002. It was the last official tournament that I ever played. I remember after winning the match, and I went up to embrace Bridget, and she was pregnant at the time, and I felt this unbelievable partnership, and it was a team effort. So you got me through the toughest time of my career, so I thank you. But Bridget and I, we've been through a lot together in a short amount of time, and I'm constantly reminded why I married Bridget. She is committed and loyal. She's an amazing mother. And beyond that, she loves me in a way that I've never known. And then through that, she's opened me up in ways I never thought possible. I'm more comfortable and happier that she is by my side. And I laugh a lot more, but not today. She's my rock, and I hope that I'm hers. I just want to say thank you for everything that I love you. I guess I bottled up emotion for 16 years, and now you're seeing it, huh? But tennis has represented a big part of my life. It's given me a lifetime of memories and lessons, all of which I will carry with me forever. At the end of the day, the thing I'm most proud of is I never strayed from my core values. From the attitudes and philosophy passed on even from my parents and men like Rod Laver. I embraced the quiet way, and I walked the high road as best I could. Above all, I wanted to represent myself, my family, and the game in a way which we could all be proud of. So as I take my place among the greatest players of all time here in the Hall of Fame, I stand before you both humbled and grateful. I'm a tennis player. Nothing more and nothing less. It's more than enough for me. It always has been. I thank you.